What is up, guys? So I've been thinking about the job market and I've been asking myself the same question, if it will ever recover. And I feel like most graduates and students are asking themselves the same question as well, considering that they spend a lot of money and a lot of time educating themselves and getting themselves in a position where they could possibly get a job, and looking at the current state of things, that isn't looking like a possibility for most people. And the problem isn't just like in the United States or in first world countries, it's basically everywhere. I live in South Africa and the youth unemployment rate is about like 45%, almost going to 50. So like 1 in every 2 people that I meet in the ages of like 16 to 35 are unemployed, and that shit is crazy considering that I am one of those people as well. So it's a really big problem, like internationally, it's not just like locally. But yeah, so today I'm going to be analyzing the whole situation, sharing my perspective on the problem, and basically encouraging anyone who's going through this. With that said, let's get into the video. As a society, right, I feel like we signed a social contract, like in terms of social mobility. There were rules and regulations to this shit. Like you went to preschool and moved your way up to university, got a job, unless you studied like liberal arts or some shit. And in that case, you're probably well off, so it kind of balanced itself off. But ultimately, the idea is that you go to university, you get a job, and you live somewhat of a sustainable life. But that whole idea or system has changed completely due to the introduction of AI. But there was a time where you could go to university, get educated, and work, and basically work at the same place even for multiple years and make a killing, buy a house, build a family, and live out your best life. Now that isn't the case anymore. Like I'm saying, with the introduction of AI in 2020, it basically shifted the whole system, and where we are currently and where we're going is definitely not similar or the same to where we were. We're at a point where we're not sure what's going to happen next, and I feel like this is where the unemployment starts coming in, because there's a lot of employees that are very bullish on the idea of AI replacing people, and then there's another camp where they realize that AI cannot really substitute expertise. So we are in this middle ground where people are firing 300,000 people every quarter under the guise of AI, but in reality, the AI itself hasn't actually yet produced any kind of beneficial turnover in order to show that it's actually being productive in the way in which it's being advertised or being sold to people. And there's no going back, because we already opened Pandora's box. The technology has been released into the public and people are aware that it's capable of doing certain things, but we haven't really particularly gotten it to get to its most highest capability. It is a crazy time, and it ruined the whole fabric of the system that has been created for multiple years. And it's kind of unfortunate for Gen Z, myself as well, considering that I live in a country with a high unemployment rate. Then again, you find a situation where it's like Amazon, where they make billions every quarter and still fire like 300,000 people every fucking quarter. And it's crazy, because it's like, you don't need the money, bro. If we're being totally honest, it's just corporate greed and looking at numbers go up on a screen at this point. And then there's a situation where companies aren't really firing people because of AI, but because of overhiring after 2020. After the pandemic, a lot of companies went on hiring spree because they realized that they were understaffed. A lot of people got let go during the pandemic as well, so like that demand was kind of low for that period of time. But once the pandemic was over, the demand was back up again, man. Everyone was fucking hungry. I remember software development was the thing, design was the thing. People wanted to create things because they realized that we're going into a digital age, so these skill sets were very valued at the time. Fast forward a couple of years later, and like AI is more adopted into modern workflows, those same skill sets are less valued because they could figure out how to make AI work for them. Most of these companies aren't actually firing people because of the fact that AI is actually productive, but because they overhired in 2020 or 2021. We're living in a situation where companies have a lot more leverage than we do. It's kind of crazy because they're really twisting our necks, man. But we did the same thing back in 2017, where people were job hopping every 2 years because we had the leverage. So cycles, they're cyclical. It will eventually correct itself. I just don't know when, but it will, because it always does. I've been seeing articles talking about rehiring junior staff. Companies are realizing that, hey, maybe AI plus junior could make like senior level productivity. There is some kind of like a shift in that sense. Like the narrative is kind of shifting in terms of hiring, especially for junior roles. I'm looking forward to that. There is light at the end of the tunnel. However, this is too early to really tell. But the fact that more companies are realizing that, hey, hiring juniors might be a good idea is a good place to start. Maybe the tides are turning. AI in itself as a tool is starting to get more scrutiny. We're living in very interesting times right now, man. For anyone who's out there who is studying or just finished studying or looking for a job, man, I would just say keep doing what you need to do. Keep applying for those jobs if you don't take the initiative to take control of your own life. But that's it, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.